200 feet above the floor of a Central American rainforest. A branch the thickness of a man's leg bends suddenly under a weight it was not built to hold. The animal that has landed on it has talons longer than the claws of a grizzly bear. She weighs only 20 pounds. And in this country, that is enough to be the most feared bird on the continent. She is the Harpy eagle, largest raptor in the Americas. Wingspan of more than 2 meters. A skull engineered to drive 5 centimeters of talon through the spine of a sloth, through the cervical vertebrae of an adult howler monkey, through the muscle of a coyote without slowing. This is one nesting season. One forest, one bird. To understand her, you must first understand the forest. The Darien is the last unbroken stretch of lowland rainforest between the Andes and the southern edge of Mexico. 20,000 square kilometers of canopy, so dense that a midday sunbeam reaches the forest floor only by accident. 3,000 species of plants, 500 species of birds, 170 species of mammal, layered upon each other in 5 distinct vertical strata that almost never mix. Most of the animals of this forest will live their entire lives without descending to the ground. They feed in the canopy, they sleep in the canopy, they give birth in the canopy. They have no need to come down. And so it is the canopy, not the forest floor, that holds the prey she has built her body to take. The harpy is the only large predator that hunts inside this stratum. Jaguars cannot climb high enough. Pumas cannot reach the slender outer branches. Crocodilians never leave the rivers. The crowns of the capox belong to her, and she is built for them. Consider her proportions. Her wingspan, for her body size, is unusually short. A bald eagle of the same weight would have wings nearly 30% longer. That long wing is for soaring above water and open country. The harpy never soars. She maneuvers. Short broad wings, a long rudder of a tail, and a 13-centimeter rake talon on each hind toe. This is an animal designed not to ride the wind but to thread the trees. She has built her nest in the same tree for the last 7 years. An emergent silk cotton, 50 meters above the floor, its crown spreading into a great spoked wheel of pale gray branches. The nest itself is a platform of sticks, woven year after year into a structure, now nearly 2 meters across. Wide enough for an adult human to lie down on. Sturdy enough to outlast the bird. In this nest, she will raise a single chick. Not a clutch, not a brood. One every other year, in the best case. Sometimes every 3. A harpy eagle invests more time per offspring than any bird of prey in the world. The chick will not fly with skill for nearly a year. It will not leave the parent's territory for 2 years more. In a single human lifetime, this one female will raise perhaps 10 birds. No more. He hatched 4 weeks ago. He cannot yet stand. His down is still pure white, like the inside of a cloud. His feet, already disproportionately large, look as though they were borrowed from a much bigger bird and clumsily attached. In 3 months, they will be the right size. In 6, they will kill. His mother now leaves him for longer and longer stretches. In his first week, she did not leave the nest for more than minutes at a time. Now, she will be gone an entire morning, sometimes a full day. She is hunting. She must, because the energy this chick requires is about to climb sharply. She does not soar. She does not circle. She perches. For hours at a time, on a branch she has used 1,000 times before. 8 meters below the top of the canopy, where the through light is dim and her gray back disappears against the bark. She is listening. Her facial disc, the ruff of stiff feathers around her face, functions like a parabolic dish, channeling sound to her ears. Hearing in a harpy is roughly as acute as in an owl. She can locate a sloth, scratching its flank from 40 meters through dense leaves. She can hear the click of a coyote's claws on a smooth branch from much further. She does not need to see her prey. She needs only to hear it once. In the middle of the morning, the forest gives her the signal she has been waiting for. 40 meters away, in a tangle of vines, a 3-toed sloth has begun the slow, deliberate climb she has heard before. He weighs 4 kilograms. He will not reach his next leaf. Watch what she does next. She does not strike from her perch. She drops 1 branch lower into shadow. She drops another. She is closing the angle. She wants to come at him with the speed of gravity already on her side. The strike happens in less than 2 seconds. She opens her wings only twice. The first beat carries her clear of her last perch. The second sets the angle. After that, she falls. She crosses the gap between herself and the sloth in absolute silence. No flap, no scream, no warning. When her talons close, they pass entirely through his rib cage, and his death is faster than the time it takes a leaf to settle. She does not eat at the kill site. She lifts him, a sloth almost her own body weight, and flies, low and labored, 300 meters along a corridor she has used for 7 seasons. To a feeding branch, she is stripped of leaves over many years. There, and only there, will she begin the long, slow work of disassembling him. At the feeding branch, she does not begin with the chick in mind. She eats first herself. A hunting harpy may not feed again for 2 or 3 days. She must take her share, and she takes it quickly. The flesh of the sloth disappears in long, deliberate tearings, her beak working as a pair of shears, her foot pinning the body to the bark. When her own crop is full, her behavior changes. She now begins to cut more carefully. She selects strips of meat from the inner thigh, from the muscles of the back, the softer tissues. These she does not swallow. She holds them in her beak. Then she lifts and she flies the 300 meters back to her single chick. On the rim of the nest, the white chick stands barely. He has heard her approach. His head tilts back. His pale beak opens in a slow, silent gape. He is not yet old enough to scream. He will be soon. But for now, his hunger is silent, expressed only in the angle of his head and the trembling of his small white wings. She lands beside him. She does not drop the meat. She tears it. She tears it into pieces, small enough for him to swallow whole. She places each piece carefully into his open beak, watching him swallow before tearing the next. This delicate feeding will continue for another 5 months before he tears for himself. A harpy nest is the most valuable structure in this forest. To a margay, a tara, a giant capuchin troop in raiding mode, a hatchling harpy chick is a feast worth a serious risk. Even an adult harpy, away from her nest, can be ambushed by a bold ocelot. The female knows this. She has not left the chick longer than 4 hours at a stretch in the last week. In the 3rd month of the chick's life, a danger arrives that she has not seen for 2 seasons. A male harpy eagle, not the chick's father, but a wandering young adult searching for territory. He has detected the nest. He is curious. And in this species, a male intruder will sometimes kill a chick to free the female to mate again. The female is at the carcass. When she hears him, she abandons her meal mid-tier. She launches from the feeding branch with a speed she has not shown for weeks. She crosses the 300 meters back to her nest before he has cleared the second to last tree. She intercepts him above the crown. She does not perch. She climbs higher than him, gaining altitude in 3 tight spirals. He has read the situation. He banks away. He will not engage a defending female above her own nest. He has lost the calculation, and he knows it. She returns to the nest. She lands on the rim. She steps over to the chick. She lowers her enormous head and touches her beak to the side of his pale crown. He sleeps under the curve of her body as the canopy darkens into evening. In the months that follow, the chick will lose his white down to brown-gray juvenile feathers. He will stand. He will flap. He will eventually grip live prey delivered to the nest by his mother. At 7 months, he will hop to the branches near the nest. At 10, he will glide for the first time. At a full year, he will leave the nest entirely. But he will not leave the forest. For another 20 months, he will return daily for food. 2 full years of dependence. In the slow accounting of evolution, this forest can afford that. Almost no other ecosystem can. When at last he disperses, he will leave the territory of his mother. He will search the unbroken canopy for hundreds of kilometers, looking for an emergent tree no other harpy has claimed. If he finds one, he will live 30 years. If he does not, if the forest he searches has been broken by roads, ranching, mining, or by the slow grinding pressure of a hungry farming frontier, he will not. Above the Darien, the canopy stretches, as it has stretched for tens of millions of years. In it, perhaps 4,000 harpy eagles remain across all of Central and South America. Fewer than the number of wild tigers, fewer than the number of mountain gorillas, and each pair holds territory the size of a small country. In a single human lifetime, this one female will raise perhaps 10 chicks. Of those 10, perhaps 2 will find a territory of their own. Perhaps one will breed. The arithmetic of this animal is brutal. The arithmetic of her forest is generous. As long as the forest holds, she holds. One nesting season, one forest, one bird. And in the canopy below her, 10,000 species going quietly about their evening, all of them safer for the fact that she watches.